and watch some videos.
What would the autopsy results of Joe Biden's death show? Would the death of the president cause Democrats to tear each other apart from the inside out? And what kind of secrets would Joe Biden leak on his deathbed? All of this on today's Most Amazing Top 10 video. Coming in at number 10, we have the autopsy. If the president-elect dies, you know that you have to have an autopsy so everyone can find out what happened, because a bunch of people are going to be asking questions. Everyone is going to want to know what got the man. And even if it's a straightforward report, even if there's nothing fishy going on with how this man passed, everyone who likes conspiracy theories is going to start to run with this and start to make up a bunch of theories about how it's actually an Illuminati plan. So the main reason that this point is scary, because it only gives more ammunition to people who like to make their own truth. But then there could be two sides to this coin. What if the autopsy comes back and it turns out that this guy was actually taken down by something sinister? Then we have the Kennedy assassination 2.0, with everyone asking questions as to who did it. And with America in such a state of hatred, it would be hard to point the finger at one person. Coming in at number 9, we have civil unrest. There is no way that a president dies and everything just keeps moving forward normally. People are going to get worked up. People are going to get angry. Someone is going to come flying in with a steel chair. You gotta watch out for that steel chair. It gets you every time. But if we see Joe Biden sadly pass away, you can bet the Republicans will use this as some leverage to try and turn the people against the Democratic Party. They will say things like, how could you elect someone so old into office? They should have seen this coming. They trusted the country to someone who isn't healthy. How can you trust their judgment calls? Even though they put their trust behind someone who at the time was the oldest person to get into office. But if we see political leaders start to trash the Democratic Party, the media is going to have a field day with this, and then people are going to get rowdy, and it seems like Americans are constantly in a state of wanting to fight right now. And guys, remember to hit the like button because it really helps us out. Coming in at number 8, we have resistance in the House and Senate. If Joe Biden does pass away while he's in office, we know that Kamala Harris will step in as the president. What a wild shift that would be. America would go from Trump to the first black woman ever in office. Even though this would be a historic moment for America, it would still leave a lot of people in a place where they would think, hey, I didn't vote for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris would have to fight against the House and the Senate to push things forward, not only because she's a black woman, but because she wasn't the person who was originally elected president. This could lead to a halt on any policies that were in motion. The Republicans could use this as an excuse to keep things stagnant for a while, and with the Supreme Court packed with right-leaning judges, this could mean that everything would be put on hold while they wait to get a Republican president into office. Coming in number 7, we have trouble with the next campaign. It's no secret that switching officials between electoral runs is a hard thing to pull off if you're the one in office. You want to keep the same person in office for that second run. So if Joe Biden doesn't make it to the point where he could run again, then it could be harder for Kamala Harris to get elected. Even though Joe Biden wasn't every Democrat's first choice, he's still the person that got elected. And having Kamala Harris step in might not be what Democrats want. This could push some people away from voting for her, and it could be in some key swing states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, which might swing back the other way to the Republicans, and those states were deciders in the last election. Coming in at number 6, we have infighting. This already kind of started. After Joe Biden was elected, famous congresswoman and certified baddie Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has already stated that the Democrats need to stop infighting, as it looks like they might be headed to a situation where they have a thinner majority in the House than they did before. When things start to get squirrely, it's easy for people to start pointing fingers. So if there is a major shift in the presidential seat, this might cause Democrats to split on who they support or how they see the country should be run. Going into the next election, they might want a new representative to back the Democratic Party instead of the current Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. This could force the Democrats into such a horrible situation that
the classic Battle Royale gameplay of PUBG Mobile doesn't apply to Metro Royale. In this mode, the winning condition isn't to be part of a team that survives until the end. In fact, you can even win without defeating any players. In Metro Royale, they can successfully evacuate from the map at a specific location before the time runs out. Another thing that differentiates this mode from Battle Royale gameplay is that you can bring equipment that you have prepared in advance into battle in Metro Royale. This means that every player starts the match differently. Those who have better equipment or items that help them survive in the constantly changing environment have a higher chance of successfully evacuating. A third thing that differentiates this mode from Battle Royale gameplay is that after you successfully evacuate, you get to take out everything you brought into the match and all your loot from the battlefield and can store them in your loadout inventory. You can sell these items to get even more Metro Cash, or store them in your loadout inventory in advance for future evacuations. No matter what, you must remember one thing. If you fail to evacuate in the match, or are defeated by another player, you will lose all the items you brought into the match. So, please be careful when selecting which items to bring into the match. If not, you could lose everything due to one mistake.
Bruh.
I'm crazy, but you like it. I bite back, fancies on your nightstand.
They lose the next election and aren't able to keep a stable foot in the Senate or House. Or everything could go off without a hitch, and having the first black female president will be the greatest thing that ever happened to the United States. That's also an option. Coming at number 5, we have it depends on what gets him. This is a big one, because if the president-elect Joe Biden passes away from, say, a heart attack, well, then it'll just seem like it was the natural course of life. Eventually, everyone gets old, and we will go to whatever comes after this. We wake up from the simulation like that episode of Rick and Morty.
Here, check this out.
Roy, what's wrong?
Could you imagine that we're all playing a video game right now in an arcade? If that was the case, I would hope that I start going a little crazier with my life. But what if something like dementia starts to affect Joe Biden, and that's the reason he passes away? Well, then all of his former decisions will be inspected and critiqued, even if they were good decisions. Every Republican is going to take the topics that they didn't like and try to throw them out, because they will say this came from a man with dementia. Also, if it is the coronavirus, well, that could change the whole country's view on the virus. This might force Americans into a lockdown. Governors might be forced to start taking coronavirus more seriously. It will change everything they've been doing so far in terms of coronavirus control. Coming at number 4, we have who did it. So let's say Joe Biden dies, and it wasn't just old age creeping up on him. Let's say it was an assassination. Someone came in and shot the dude, or poisoned him, or maybe killed him with some sort of experimental weaponry, like that sonic attack that affected the Canadians and Americans in Cuba, allegedly. Well, this is going to launch a massive investigation as to who killed the president. We are going to have the Lee Harvey Oswald case all over again, and we don't even have a clear-cut answer as to what happened in the Kennedy case, because someone killed Oswald before he got to stand trial. This could spark rage all over the country. People pointing fingers, trying to figure out who the hell did it. Republicans fighting Democrats. Or if there's evidence that the assassination came from outside of America, then this could have everyone freaking out. If that's the case, Americans might start ripping each other apart faster than Joey Chestnut rips through anything edible. Coming at number 3, we have war. So let's say Joe Biden is taken out by a foreign assassin. Someone sneaks into America under the guise of a tourist and kills the leader of the USA. For one, that would be one of the wildest things that could ever happen in the United States, but it would also lead to massive turmoil. People would go crazy. And if the FBI and CIA were able to dig out who did this, it would mean war. A 100% chance of war. There is no way. Spark a massive conflict between countries, but it would all get from, say, Chile. I don't think that everyone would think this was someone sent from their secret service to take out the president. But if the assassin came from Russia, well, this would turn into full-scale war. We're talking about World War III. We're talking about America, China, Russia, the European Union, and whoever else wants to jump in to take on the whole world. World War III, baby. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 2, we have an information leak. Okay, let's say Joe Biden is going to pass away. He knows he's sick. He has some sort of illness, and his last moments are right in front of him. Well, what do people usually do in those last moments? Well, they reflect on their life. If they were a good person, what did they do that was worthwhile? What would they have changed? Maybe in these final moments, we see Joe Biden, the president of the United States, leak information that is only privy to the president because he thinks the American people should know the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. What if he spills the beans on aliens? Who killed JFK? Who is in the Illuminati? body and all the juicy details that will make Alex Jones salivate in his super hyped up pants. And coming in at the number 1 spot, we have Trump tries to take his spot. I think we all know that even though Trump is on his way out of office, he isn't going to keep his mouth shut. He was mouthy before he was ever president, and after he's gone, he's going to keep butting in on everything to do with politics and what he would do if he was in that spot. That's kind of his brand. So if Biden passes on to whatever's on the other side of life, you better believe that Trump is going to say something about how if he was in office, he would still be alive, even though that's super rude. And he even might try to make a push to be his replacement. Or he could use Biden's death as fuel for the reason that he should run in 2024. I mean, that's stating that Trump will also make it that long, because if Trump runs in 2024, he will be 78 years old, which is even older than Joe Biden is now. Maybe for the next one, we can get someone who's young in office, someone who knows how to convert a Word document into a PDF, and has some interest about the future of the world because they're actually going to be on the planet for a little longer. Now, time to answer some questions from my Instagram. Electric Star 336 wrote in and asked, if your tongue grew an ear that could hear super good, what would you do with it? I think I would either have my tongue removed or it would be my new superpower. Again, Electric Star 336 wrote in and asked, what's your favorite type of food? Say Chinese or Mexican or anything like that. I would definitely go with barbecue, just like massive hunks of meat with like salad, and you could do it all sorts of different ways. Biscuits, cornbread, love that kind of stuff. And once again, Electric Star 3336 just like massive hunks of meat with like salad, and you could do it all sorts of different ways. Biscuits, cornbread, love that kind of stuff. And once again, Electric Star 3336 wrote it. This guy is killing it. He said, girl, why you so thick? And you know what? That's just how I am. I'm just built that way. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Jay Dorena, and hopefully the president doesn't die. Bye.
Still hopefully the president doesn't die.
Starting off this countdown, we have the Smellitizer. Disneyland sees about 18 million guests per year. Disney World sees about 58 million guests per year. That is an insane amount of people. Now, what if I told you that Disneyland mind controls its guests? I wish I was making this up, but I am not. So Disney uses a device known as the Smellitizer. Basically, it's a device used to pump fumes throughout the park. For example, at the main entrance, they pump out the smell of popcorn to entice you to buy some. In candy shops or ice cream parlors, it will smell sweet like vanilla. They also do this to make their rides more immersive. Like at the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, it will smell like wet wood and sea salt. They are literally controlling what you smell. If that's not a form of mind control, then tell me what is.
Coming in at number 9 is Mulan, our girl proving to everyone that girls can do everything that guys can do, and sometimes even a bit better than they can. Girl power! Now in the Disney film, the Hans end up defeating the Huns, and Mulan helps them save the Emperor, win the war, and then goes back home. In Hua, Mulan's original poem that the movie is based off of, China actually loses the war completely. The Khan of Northern Wei lets Mulan live, but only if she lives with him. So naturally, our quick-witted girl escapes from that situation ASAP. When she finally gets home, she finds out that her dad died while she was away and her mum remarried. By that point, she doesn't even have time to deal with the grief because the Khan summons her to be his concubine. And we know Mulan's spirit and tenacity, she is not going to do that. She then proceeds to kill...
Is this real life right now? I'm back! Is the Canada Goose gonna take it on?
I'm on top like I'm goddamn Mario, right? I'm just
Not today! Maybe tomorrow! That's not real! There's no octopus that has RBG lights attached to it! What is Frankenstein doing? He's alive! He's alive!
Australop cockerel. One
Cockerel.
of 500 birds.
It's my all-time favorite video. Like, definitely gotta call your boss, man. Be like, yo, I think I'm gonna be running like 2 days late.
It's like Jabba the Hutt.
Like, definitely gotta call your boss, man. Be like, yo, I think I'm gonna be running like 2 days late.
Slug Jeff.
Today, Arizona Blizzard.
Jabba the Hutt.
That does not look like Jabba the Hutt. How high are you? How freaking high? This guy came to work and he's laughing at that. That's just a normal cat. Have you never seen a cat? Okay, is this real life right now? Make sure you stay tuned for December 7th. My first video is going up. We're no longer doing the news. This is my attempt at comedy. I'm just gonna try to make you guys laugh. I'm gonna try to entertain you guys. So mark your calendars, December 7th, 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Or, I don't know.